Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Society of Madison. My name is Karen Urrutia Polnitz. My pronouns are she or they, and I'm the Director of Religious Exploration. I am very excited to welcome you to today's Coming of Age service. Many thanks to those volunteering this morning. Our greeter is Elizabeth Barrett. Our ushers are Sam Bates, Rini Uhardy, and Maureen Muldoon. And for hospitality, we thank Jeannie Hills, Sue Hogg, and Isa Garusi. Thank you all. At First Unitarian Society, we question boldly, listen humbly, grow spiritually, act courageously, and love unapologetically. If you are visiting us today, welcome. We are so very glad that you are with us. If you would like more information about First Unitarian Society, please stop by the welcome table located in the Commons. We hope you will be able to stay and join us for coffee hour immediately after service, also in the Commons. Today, as we witness a group of students sharing the culmination of their curricular experience as religious explorers here at FUS, I hope you may feel inspired to be part of the exploration journey of future generations of children and youth in our community. This year, 65 adults shared their time and talents with our young people as teachers in our children's and youth religious exploration program. We are so grateful to those teachers. Teachers are provided curriculum, but it is they who bring the weekly care and connection that truly makes our programming meaningful to the students and families that we serve. Our offerings for children from age 3 through 9th grade would not be possible without the generous volunteering of our teachers. Next year, we hope you'll join us. If you would like more information about teaching one of our classes next year, please listen in for teaching testimonials and stop by the FAR RE tables in the back of the Commons over the next few weeks. I look forward to connecting with you about this exciting opportunity. Another note is that the peace poles are ready for accessorizing on our front lawn. Whether you've signed up or not, all are welcome to participate in the accessorizing of our poles today, later in the week or whenever you are so moved. Alice Delaquest, Nadine Wright, Barb Avery, and Bev Dusso have created decorative sleeves to get us started. Donated materials are available on the tables located outside of the landmark. You can choose your own peace pole or assist someone who is already in accessorizing mode and join in community by creating a beautiful display of peaceful images. This morning, we have the privilege of hearing from an impressive group of youth who have spent the past 8 months in our Coming of Age program. The Coming of Age year is a season of self-exploration when students deepen their understanding of their own beliefs and connections to our Unitarian Universalist community. Their time has been filled with experiential learning, introspection, meaningful discussions, exposure to new perspectives, and much growth and change. As the culmination of their coming of age experience, the students have each crafted a belief statement, which they will be sharing with us today. The words of our youth, as well as their musical contributions to today's service, are sure to inspire us with hope and awe. And now, I invite you to welcome in our Coming of Age class.
Spirit of the East, spirit of air, of morning and springtime, Be with us as the sun rises, in times of beginning, in times of planting. Inspire us with a fresh breath of courage as we go forth into new adventures.
Spirit of the South, Spirit of fire, of noontime and summer, be with us through the heat of the day and help us to be ever growing. Warm us with strength and energy for the work that awaits us.
Spirit of the West, Spirit of water, of evening and autumn, be with us as the sun sets and help us to enjoy a rich harvest. Flow through us with a cooling, healing quietness and bring us peace.
Spirit of the North, Spirit of earth, of nighttime and winter, be with us in the darkness. In the time of destination, ground us in the wisdom of the changing seasons as we celebrate the spiraling journey of our lives.
Please rise in all the ways we do and join together in words of affirmation as we light our chalice. Join us today as we gather in a wider search for truth and purpose. On this journey, may we greet another with open hearts and minds.
May we inspire each other to consider new questions. May we cultivate wisdom and compassion, and may we never stop learning and growing.
Before we join together in song, please take a moment to turn and greet those around you.
Hello. Please join us in singing our opening hymn, number 1051, We Are.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God.
We would now like to invite any people who would like to come up for a story. Today we're reading Where the Wild Things Are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. And his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day.
And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. And Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start.
"Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted there to be someone that loved him best of all. Then, all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being the king of all the wild things. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." And the wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot.
I honestly don't know if there's classes at the 11 o'clock, but before we send you guys off to class, I really wanted to quickly tell you why we picked this story. Part of the coming of age class is we have to go on a retreat. In this retreat, we go out into the woods all by ourselves with no entertainment, no sense of time, and we sit there for 6 hours. And we ponder and we think about what we believe in preparation for this service. And we picked this story because we really felt it represented our experience both in the woods and just our journey throughout this class in general. I don't think I did this, but some of my classmates did turn a little caveman while we were out in the woods, so this represents that, but also it represents exploring and discovering and realizing who you are and who you want to be, and that's really what we wanted this whole service to be about. So yeah.
All right, and now we're going to sing all of the kids to their classes.
The average human lifespan is 80 years, which is equal to 29,200 days, or 700,800 hours spent with the people we love. Now think about how much of that time is spent anticipating, thinking about the future or the past, and wishing this week just wouldn't happen so your vacation could come sooner or your birthday party could be happening. My name is Betty, and I believe in experiencing the joy in the little things. I think that being in those pockets of time between the big, exciting events is a beautiful part of life, and the little moments can make your day better or even shape your whole world. Sometimes it's hard not to anticipate and think about the future. The future can be exciting, but then we miss all the moments happening right in front of our eyes. There are so many little moments in life that make me happy, like fig bars and hanging out with friends and going outside, playing Rummy Cube, Grey's Anatomy, and baton twirling, when I play kickball with my friends at my elementary school, and when I make silly improv songs with my mom, and so many more little moments where I don't remember what happened. I just remember they made me feel good. All of those little moments are what has made me come across this belief that there is fun in the moments you weren't expecting. And these experiences have helped shape my optimistic and flexible personality. Now, to be honest, so far, my life has been pretty good, but I've had a few sad moments, like when my dog died, and I know I'll have a lot more. And I bet a lot of people in the world, even in this room, have had bad things happen in their life. I'm not saying you should just find joy and stop being sad, but I think those little moments can make life a bit better. It can help you move past personal trauma or make the sadness a bit more bearable. Something else I have realized in my life is there is a lot that can pull us away from the joy of the present moment, whether it be stress or bad things happening around the world or anything else bothering you. And while it's good to give those thought and not fully block them out of our life, it's also important to realize there's always beauty in the world if you stop and look at it, and joy to be had if you let yourself experience it. In the upcoming week, I want you to find little moments in your life that are making you happy, and take a moment to enjoy them before going back to whatever you were doing. Stop thinking about the future and the past and what you need to do, and let yourself enjoy that moment. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my speech.
I believe in the power of discovery. We discover new things every single day in our lives, which can shape who we are as people. At certain points in everyone's life, everyone has a moment where they realize something. This moment can really define a certain thing about a person. A passion for something, learning to ride a bike, applying for a job, taking steps as a baby, or a liking for a certain food all come from the act of discovery. When I was about 5 years old, I discovered that there was 2 boys living just a block away from me. We quickly became friends, both enjoying Legos, sports, and video games. To this day, those 2 boys are still my best friends, and we both still enjoy playing the same sports, video games, and we still go to the same school. I know it sounds a bit ridiculous, but almost every decision you have made in your lifetime has been from some sort of discovery. Sometimes, things to be discovered have to be found by stepping out of our comfort zones. A good example of this would be my mom and her fear of mice. To be honest, I see nothing wrong with mice, but for some reason, she's terrified of them. If only she would step out of her comfort zone and maybe hold a pet mouse, she could discover that they're not so bad or scary after all. At the end of the day, learning and discovering new things makes up the person that we can be and how we can change tomorrow for the better. To wrap this up, I want to finish with one of my favorite quotes by the author Roald Dahl. The greatest secrets are always hidden in the most unlikely places waiting to be discovered. Thank you, guys.
Passage to India. Are thy wings plumed indeed for such far flights? O soul, voyagest thou indeed on voyages like these? Deportest thou on waters such as those? Soundest below the Sanskrit and the Vedas, then have thy bent unleashed.
Passage to you, your shores, ye aged fierce enigmas. Passage to you, to mastership of you, ye strangling problems. You, strewed with the wrecks of skeletons that living never reached you.
Passage to more than India, O secret of the earth and sky.
Of you, O waters of the sea,
O winding creeks and rivers,
Of you, O woods and fields.
of you, strong mountains of my land,
of you, O prairies,
Of you, gray rocks.
O clouds, O rain and snows,
O day and night, passage to you.
O sun and moon and all you stars, Sirius and Jupiter, passage to you.
Passage, immediate passage. The blood burns in my veins. Away, O soul, hoist instantly the anchor. Cut the hawsers, haul out, shake out every sail.
have we not stood here like trees in the ground long enough? Have we not groveled here long enough, eating and drinking like mere brutes? Have we not darkened and dazed ourselves with books long enough?
Sail forth, steer for the deep waters only. Reckless, O soul, I with thee and thou with me. For we are bound where a mariner has not yet dared to go, and we will risk the ship, ourselves and all.
O my brave soul, O farther, farther sail. O daring joy, but safe. Are they not all the seas of God? O farther, farther, farther sail.
I'm Lena Conroy, and right now, I believe that empathy helps everyone. I've always thought that empathy was needed, but I've realized recently that most people don't try to be empathetic at all, even if it is something that's always been encouraged and isn't a complicated thing. I believe a lot of my peers and people around me want to try, but rather just pity others or just go straight to judging someone. I think people distance themselves by never trying to offer empathy to others, no matter their situation. An example of me practicing empathy is when I always try to bring a snack that's gluten-free for my friends with celiac disease, just in case they are hungry, because I know it must be really hard for them if they do happen to be hungry, since the school isn't very accommodating. I'm aware I need to work on being more empathetic to my brothers sometimes, since I have 3. So I work on that, even if they don't see it. Something that's shaped this is always being guided toward empathy, only to notice nobody actually seems to imagine themselves in the other person's shoes, like we are all taught. I've noticed people at school tend to follow their judgments and views more than trying to see anyone else's, or how other people are actually feeling. That's why I feel like putting a few seconds into reevaluating and viewing people more kindly can help everyone. I'm still unsure about whether people are trying or if they have the reasons for their judgment. Maybe those people are just focused on themselves more because they're struggling with their own things. I also wonder if empathy can be enough. With everything going on in the world, I believe we need empathy to understand each other. Because of what I believe, I try to avoid judging people at first and try to call out when people are being rude, as well as practice offering my empathy to everyone. Even if they do not notice, or if I'm not making it obvious, I still think it is worth it. So next time you're at a restaurant or something, and your waiter is taking too long, or forgot your free bread, breathe for a second, think about the situation they might be in. Maybe you'll change your mind on how you are feeling. Overall, I believe it is worth it to be empathetic and kind to others right now, and that everyone should try their best to follow through. Thank you.
Oh, hello there. Context is the most fundamental base of communication. Over sight and sound, situation is like a multiplier of all meaning. Just think of all the little things that go beyond the simple senses. Sarcasm, for example. But it doesn't end here. Context is in every single part of communication, aside from whatever's happening in the current moment. This could mean just the last sentence, or even your relationship and past experiences with a person you are speaking with. All of these things are processed and comprehended without even a second thought, literally. How hard is it to believe that our brains just compile these copious amounts of information subconsciously? If I wasn't a human person with a human brain myself, I would be pretty shocked. The ability to do this is a blessing as well as a curse. This is because belief also stems from context too, being much deeper rooted as well. Personal view is the leading indicator of trustworthiness. And humans have evolved to act as cohesive groups, and making us get our levels of respect partially from other people's views of that person, and also a little bit of contextual inference. Just another little example, positions of power are context to a lot of things about a person. Depending on the placement, you could assume countless aspects about their ability without even parasocially knowing them. Furthermore, without accusations of character, power in a subject should pretty directly relate to ability in that subject. This parasocially stemming pillar of trust is the most easily redirected for others' own means. And for the most part, since this branches from the respect you think other people must have, whoever you meet could be obscured by the minutiae of who you think they are. Beyond from the parasocial, if they have blinded their subjects beyond understanding, this person doesn't even need to believe in the words they say. Though it makes sense for the thing with the word power in it to give you power, it really shouldn't. The fun part about this para-respect is that it's completely up to the person's volition. If a horrible person gains a following, it only paves a path to a greater one. Though that might seem bad, there's still a worse concept to go. The actions of intended deceit used by so many, stealing your brain's context for themselves. Spreading misinformation is an example of this. The context, instead of being a power, is a context of probable ability. Seeing someone just state a fact as a fact conceptually makes you think it more as a fact. Think, why would someone just write something obviously false for no reason at all? And when it's all done subconsciously, it's very hard to see the false from reality. Context is just fun like that, where you don't directly find it, your brain just fills in the gaps with probable odds to win. The only problem is that cheats can rig it in their favor if you're not directly looking out for them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Julie Warren. I'm in 9th grade at West High School. I like the colors navy blue and dark green. I also enjoy kayaking, canoeing, and biking. I'm currently in Taekwondo, working towards my black belt, and I work here in the childcare room. What I believe in is to be grateful for what you have. For me, waking up each morning with one thing in mind to be thankful for can be a helpful start to my day. I am also thankful for the different opportunities I get, even if they're really small. I'm grateful for so many things, including my house, my school, and a family who loves me. I hope there are things in your life that you can appreciate too. Let me tell you a story about my experience with nature and my family. My dad, my dog Daisy, my 3 other siblings, and I went to the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness in Ely, Minnesota. We were out in the wilderness for a full week, with no resources besides the things we packed: group food, clothing, and our sleeping setups. There was no internet, running water, or electricity of any sort. Now, if you don't know what the Boundary Waters are, let me tell you. The Boundary Waters are a wilderness reservation in northern Minnesota and also goes up into Canada. It is an enormous place, but truly beautiful. There is something different to it. It feels magical. My Boundary Waters experience makes me so appreciative for so much. First is being grateful for what I have, because I realized that without the things I have, doing so many activities would be so difficult. While I was in the Boundary Waters, I couldn't do a lot of things I regularly did when I was at home. I couldn't even do the simplest things like put my plate in the dishwasher, which I definitely don't do enough at home. Another way the Boundary Waters made me appreciative was for the family connections. I obviously love my family, but spending a week with only them brought us closer together, even though sometimes we would argue. It deepened our connection and made us realize that on a trip like this, going by ourselves would be very difficult. When I returned, I realized that even the smallest things I have in my life are so much more important than I thought. Things like my bedroom, bathroom, car, and especially my refrigerator, which I miss the most. These things are in my life every day, and a majority of the time, people, including myself, overlook these things. As we go through our daily lives, we use so many things we don't even think twice. After going to the Boundary Waters, coming home and having all my things back made me feel so grateful for all of them, and I will never forget that feeling. I now try to appreciate the small things too, although sometimes I forget. I'm very grateful that you listened to my speech. I hope it was touching. Thank you to my coming-of-age teachers this year for all your time and commitment to make this class special. I'm so glad I got to spend my last religious ed class with you and the rest of my classmates. Thank you so much. I believe in being grateful for what you have, even the smallest things. This, I believe.
We invite you now into the giving and receiving of today's offering, which supports the work of Operation Fresh Start, this year's outreach offering chosen by our coming-of-age class. Since their founding in 1970, Operation Fresh Start has created opportunities for young adults who have faced barriers to education and employment. They are equipping young people with the skills and knowledge necessary to find their own success and, with their community partners, working to create equitable pathways for their continued success.
Their primary goal is to provide emerging adults a path to self-sufficiency. Operation Fresh Start views every young person as an asset to our community. There are multiple ways to share your gifts. You will see on the screen that you can donate directly from our website, and you will see the text to give information there as well. Baskets will now be passed here in this room. Thank you for your generosity and your faith in this life we create together.
For as long as I can remember, I've been a Packers fan. And as a Packers fan, you experience just enough success to keep you in, only to lose at the most important games. An example of that is in the 2025 NFC wildcard game. The Packers were visiting the Chicago Bears in the first round of the 2025 playoffs. Throughout the first half, the Packers were in control, leading 21-3 at the end of the first half. And I thought this was the year we'd win it all, but the Bears came roaring back and scored 25 points in the fourth quarter to rip the hearts out of all the Packers fans watching. Not only have I been heartbroken by playing sports, I've also been heartbroken about playing sports. I caught the ball, in the last game of my 8th grade basketball season. We were down 2 with 1 second on the clock. I caught the ball in the corner and shot a 3, and it airballed. I was also devastated after that game, but then I asked myself why I cared so much about sports. That answer is complicated, but at the same time, simple. Sports, music, art, and religion all give us what we are striving for, a place to be, something bigger than ourselves. Why do we try to find this feeling? The reason I believe everyone tries to find this feeling is because of the fact that they are trying to forget themselves and connect to a bigger collective idea. This feeling of connectivity, of oneness, is what we are chasing throughout our entire lives. And when you find the thing that gives you this feeling, you should enjoy it as much as you can and never let it go, as a life that you're not enjoying is not living a life to the fullest potential. As enjoyment of life is important, you must also balance that with the betterment of humankind and making a positive impact in this world. Love yourself first, and everything else falls into line. This quote by Lucille Ball emphasizes the fact that to truly help others and make a good impact in this world, to the fullest of your ability, you must first learn to love yourself. 1 in 400 trillion is the chance that you're born, so make the most of it. Thank you, happy Mother's Day, and go Pack Go.
Hi. I believe in the power of imagination. I have always had a vast imagination. When I was a kid, I would spend hours with my sister making worlds and telling stories. In elementary school, me and my friends played games that were the brainchild of our imagination. When school bored me, I would disappear into the stories my brain told. My imagination was also the reason I made it through COVID. I was so sick of staying at home all day, so I decided to try and find someone to hang out with. I ended up hanging out with this girl in my neighborhood, in her backyard. From that day on, we hung out every day. We played what we called role-playing games. We would take on different roles and explore worlds we created in our shared imagination. Those worlds, those games, got me through COVID. I learned so much about myself during this time, and my imagination guided me through it all. I remember the first day I learned about Dungeons and Dragons, a new way to channel my never-ending imagination into something tangible. A game where the worlds I created in my head could be worlds my friends explored with any character they could imagine. I had watched a dumb YouTube video in which they played D&D, and I fell in love. I managed to get my family to play it with me, but none of them exactly vibed with it, partially because I was so afraid of the skeletons that we had to stop early. So instead, I went on a quest to indoctrinate my friends. Playing D&D with my friends will always be some of my favorite memories. Oh, no. My imagination has always been there to help guide me, but so has an ever-looming anxiety. Anxiety makes it hard to do everything I dream. Anxiety tries to stop me from trying new things, from being the truest version of myself. But imagination counters this. It gives me a way for me to ground myself and relax. When I feel anxiety taking over, I can escape to the oasis of my imagination. Imagination is powerful in the sense it allows for me to be free from something that would otherwise keep me trapped. It allows me to dream big. It allows me to give space. It gives me a space to think through ideas and be creative. It is the reason that I am who I am today. I truly believe that imagination is something everyone has, and when it is used, its power is truly magnificent. Thank you.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of a dark black night. Into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Today, we are filled with gratitude for the insights and the wisdom of our coming of age youth. As we have seen over the course of this past year, our youth have begun in earnest to study themselves, to get to know themselves, examining their beliefs and values, ideals, and aspirations. With their belief statements, our youth have given us just a glimpse of where this process has led them, and we'd pause for a moment here to thank those who have been with them on this journey. We begin with those who served as the adult facilitators and have given these youth direction, insight, wisdom, and guidance throughout the past year. They have brought patience, good humor, dedication and commitment, and much love and compassion to this coming of age year. So please join me in thanking Sandy Eskridge, Rudy Moore, Olivia Moat, and Mo Lancaster.
To all who are with us today, We ask that you remember your important role in the spiritual and moral development of these youth. Where they journey from here is not entirely up to them. It is also up to us. We must remember that deepening their experience of Unitarian Universalism is not the responsibility of their parents and advisors alone. Helping them to blossom as loving and conscientious human beings is a responsibility we all share. And now that they have completed their coming-of-age year, that responsibility becomes more relevant and more immediate. For these young people, you can serve as both example and inspiration of how people live out in everyday life their spiritual values. Through you, they can observe Unitarian Universalist faith in action. There can be no greater or more effective teaching than your good example. So, will you continue to encourage the spiritual growth of these youth? Will you value their insights and emerging convictions and recognize the gifts and talents they bring to our community and the enthusiasm and hope that they bring to our world? And if so, please say, we will. We will.
And now to our youth, to all of you, we recognize today the work you've done during this past year, and we're grateful for the gifts and talents you have brought to us in your time here in this community. Will you continue this journey you have begun, growing as an individual, expressing your beliefs, growing in faith, and continuing to question and explore? If so, please say, we will.
And now, at this time, we turn to the parents of our coming-of-age youth. Would you please rise or otherwise make yourselves known? You, beyond everyone else, have been witness to the unfolding and maturing of your child from birth until today. In the beginning of the coming-of-age year, we asked you to give permission to your child to come of age. We ask you now, will you continue to open your hearts in order to receive your child into your family for all they have become in this past year? Do you promise now to continue your journey together with respect, patience, guidance, and love? And if so, please say, we will. We will.
Thank you. Please be seated. At the dedication of a child, we give to each a rosebud, fragrant symbol of beauty, promise, and love. The rose we give then has no thorns, symbolizing the better world we would like to give to our children. We hope that the children whom we have dedicated will learn to recognize the beauty and the goodness which exists in our world, that they will grow in wisdom and compassion, adding their own beauty and gifts. Our hope is that as each rosebud unfolds in all its natural beauty, so may the life of each child unfold. Today, we give each of these young people a rose in full bloom, symbolizing the beauty and the gifts that they already give to our world and the natural beauty that is found in each of them. Yet this time, the thorns are still intact. When you were a child, we could do our best to shield you from the harshness and the cruelty of the world. But now, you are no longer a child, and we can no longer protect you from all that you encounter, both the beauty and the cruelty. But no matter where you may go and how far you may travel, you will always be with us in spirit, and we will always be sending blessings your way. So accept these roses, knowing that there are harsh realities in the world, but there is much beauty as well. May you choose to see the beauty whenever possible. And now, as we did when you were young children, we ask that you be granted clarity of thought, integrity of speech, and a compassionate heart. May the blessings of an understanding heart strength, integrity of purpose, and love received and given be yours today and remain with you as you go forward into ever fuller life. Blessed be, and amen. And if you will join us in congratulating our youth.
Hello again. Please join us in singing our closing hymn, number 108, My Life Flows On in Endless Song.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails the new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
May the light around us guide our footsteps, so we may live a life we love. May the darkness around us nurture our dreams, so we may wake with renewed patience to continue growing as people. Let us seek to remember the wholeness of our lives, the weaving of light and shadow in this great and astonishing dance in which we move. Blessed be, go in peace, and please be seated for the recessional.